New Google Gemini update is insane. You've been using AI wrong this whole time. Not because you're doing something bad, because AI just changed and most people have no idea yet. Google just dropped something that makes every other AI response look like a boring wall of text. And if you're still just reading paragraphs from your AI chatbot, you're leaving so much on the table. This update is genuinely wild. Let me show you exactly what it does and how to use it today. Gemini can now take your questions and complex topics and turn them into fully interactive visualizations right inside the chat window. Not a static image, not a diagram you just stare at. An actual interactive experience you can play with, adjust, and explore in real time. We're talking about rotating 3D models, adjusting sliders, changing variables and watching the outcome shift instantly. Here's a real example Google shared. You ask Gemini how the moon orbits the Earth. Old Gemini would give you a fixed diagram, maybe some text. Now, you get an interactive simulation where you can manually drag sliders for initial velocity and gravity strength and instantly see how those numbers create a stable orbit or break it. And that's not just cool to look at. That actually teaches you something in a way that reading a paragraph never could. And another example, a 3D journey through the scale of the universe, from a single proton all the way out to the observable universe. You're not reading about it, you're moving through it. Google confirmed this is rolling out globally to all Gemini app users right now. So how do you actually use it? It's simpler than you think. Head to gemini.google.com in your browser. Select the Pro model in the prompt bar. That's the key step most people miss. Then use trigger phrases like show me or help me visualize in your prompt. That's it. Those specific phrases signal to Gemini that you want an interactive output instead of a text response. So instead of asking, explain how photosynthesis works, you ask, show me how photosynthesis works. Instead of, how does compound interest grow over time, you ask, help me visualize how compound interest grows. Same topic, completely different experience. The interactive visualizations feature is just one piece of what's happening here. There are actually two experimental features being rolled out inside the Gemini app right now through something called Labs. They're called Dynamic View and Visual Layout. Visual Layout pulls in photos and interactive modules to create a visually rich response. Think, you ask Gemini to plan a 3-day trip to Rome, and instead of a list of bullet points, you get a visual itinerary you can explore and customize across multiple turns of the conversation. Dynamic View goes even further. Gemini actually designs and codes an entirely custom interface specifically for your prompt. Ask it to explain something, it builds you a bespoke interactive tool on the fly to explore that concept. This is what Google's research team calls Generative UI. The AI isn't just generating content anymore, it's generating the experience itself. And here's what this actually looks like in practice. Google showed it building a custom interactive loan calculator on the spot, put in 2 different loan options, adjust the numbers, and it shows you in real time which one saves you more long term. Same concept as the visualizations. You're not reading an answer, you're playing with it. They also showed someone asking about surf conditions, specific parameters like wave height, wind direction, tide timing, and instead of a paragraph of text, Gemini built a visual layout with tables, grids, and images tailored to those exact conditions on the fly. And in Google Search's AI mode, you can ask it to show you how RNA polymerase works, and instead of a textbook explanation, you get an interactive simulation of the actual process. 3 completely different topics, 3 completely different custom experiences, built in seconds from a single prompt. That's the shift happening here. AI used to answer your questions, or it builds you the tool to explore them yourself. Now, where does this actually matter for your work? Let me give you some practical use cases that are actually worth your time. First, learning complex topics fast. If you're trying to get up to speed on something technical, a new marketing concept, a data model, a scientific process, asking for an interactive visualization cuts learning time dramatically. You understand it faster because you can manipulate it, not just read about it. Second, explaining things to other people. If you work with clients, students, colleagues, you can generate an interactive visualization of a concept and share it. Way more powerful than sending someone a link to a Wikipedia article. Third, data exploration. The feature also supports interactive charts and graphs. So if you're analyzing trends, comparing options, or trying to understand data, you can ask Gemini to build you a chart you can actually interact with rather than a static image. Now, what about Google AI Ultra? There's a premium tier of this at $250 per month, which unlocks deep research with visual reports. That version can pull from your Gmail, Google Drive, and chat history to build personalized interactive reports with custom graphics, charts, simulations, schematics, all generated from your actual data. The AI figures out what type of visual works best for each piece of data. Interactive periodic table, bar graph, detailed schematic. It chooses based on what you asked. And that's a very specific use case for power users and teams doing heavy research workflows. But the core interactive visualization feature, that's free with the Pro model on the regular Gemini app. You don't need the premium subscription to start using this today. And just to give you full context on where this sits competitively, Anthropic actually rolled out a similar visualization feature for Claude back in mid-March. So this space is moving fast. Both major AI assistants now have the capability to generate interactive visuals inside the chat. The shift happening right now is AI is moving from answering your questions to building the experience for exploring your questions. That's a different thing entirely. And the people who learn how to prompt for this kind of output, who learn to ask show me instead of explain, are going to understand complex topics faster, explain things better, and build smarter workflows than the people still reading walls of text. So what's your next step right now? Go to GeminiGoogle.com, select the Pro model, type show me, plus any topic you've been trying to wrap your head around lately. Could be a physics concept, a business model, a data trend, a biological process, whatever it is, try the interactive version and see how differently you understand it. Then come back and tell me in the comments what you tried and what you got. I genuinely want to know. If you're looking to dive deeper into AI tools and actually implement them in your work, I recommend AI Profit Boardroom. Over 2,000 people learning how to use AI effectively. Everyone shares real experiences. What's working, what's not, which tools are worth your time, which ones to skip. No hype, just solid information and practical guidance from people doing the work. It's helped me stay on top of updates like this one and figure out how to actually apply them. Link in description if you want to check it out. And if you want the full process, SOPs, and 100 plus AI use cases like this one, join the AI Success Lab. Links in the comments and description. You'll get all the video notes from there, plus access to our community of 58,000 members who are crushing it with AI. See you in the next one.